Jai Guruji to all of Sangat and Jai Guruji to Atulji for keeping Guruji's Sangat alive so enthusiastically. We truly appreciate that.
Thank you to Reading of Shiv Puran, Dubai platform for inviting us on this special Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's to our best Valentine Guruji Maharaj, and of course to the whole Sangat. ऐसे गुरुजी सब में प्यार बांटते रहें, आपस में सब व्यवहार रहे, सब हम लोग मिलजुल करके प्यार से गुरुजी की उनकी सत्संग करके उनकी जो उनकी बारे में सारे विश्व में सारे दुनिया में हम उनकी ब्यूटीफुल डिवाइन फ्रेग्रेंस ऐसी हम बिखेरते रहें, जहाँ जहाँ जो भी रहते हैं सबके पास गुरुजी की ऐसी फ्रेग्रेंस आए और ब्लेसिंग्स आए. Jai Guruji.
Jai Guruji. We'll start our satsang. Usha will do it first. I'll come back later. I think there should be only one person here, so you can look at Guruji too. Otherwise, we'll block Guruji.
Jai Guruji. Thank you so much for inviting both of us, MP uncle and me, on this forum, on this special Valentine's Day. आज तो कितना अच्छा यहाँ सुबह 7 बजे की सुबह है, बाहर पूरा बर्फ़ से ढका हुआ है सियाटल, और ऐसा लग रहा है हम एकदम हिमालय में ही बैठे हैं गुरुजी के साथ और आप सबके साथ ये शेयर कर रहे हैं. बहुत बड़ा विंटर स्टॉर्म यहाँ आया है कल से, और सुबह 7 बजे गुरुजी इतना प्यार से इतना एक्साइटमेंट में आप सबके साथ आज हम शेयर करने के लिए आज फिर आपके सामने उपस्थित हुए हैं, और इतनी खुशी होती है. अतुल जी, थैंक यू सो मच. मेरे ख्याल से सबसे पहले जो मैंने अपना लाइव सत्संग किया है वो अतुल जी की हेल्प से ही किया है, और थैंक यू सो मच अतुल जी फॉर इंट्रोड्यूसिंग मी टू दिस लाइव सत्संग. मैंने कभी नहीं किया था इस तरह से मीडिया पे या इस पर, और आई वाज हेजिटेंट एंड विद अतुल जी's help I learned this. So I will always be grateful to Atul ji for introducing me how to do satsang on live satsang on Facebook. And उसके बाद there's no stopping. गुरुजी हर जगह ब्यूटीफुली सब कुछ करा रहे हैं, and thank you to गुरुजी and to अतुल जी and to all of us, all of you who are watching, जो आप सारे इकट्ठा हुए हैं और आज वैलेंटाइंस डे एक दूसरे के साथ मना रहे हैं. सबसे तो अच्छी बात है कि हम गुरुजी के साथ सुबह अपनी वैलेंटाइंस शुरू कर रहे हैं सुबह at 7 o'clock here in AM in the morning here in Seattle. इससे अच्छा क्या हो सकता है? You're very blessed. Thank you. तो मैं अपने मैंने कई बार सत्संग शेयर किया है आपके प्लेटफॉर्म पर एवरी टाइम इट्स सो एक्साइटिंग व्हेनेवर आई गेट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी. जब भी मुझे ये मौका मिलता है तो आई बिकम लाइक ए स्मॉल चाइल्ड. ऐसा लगता है कि गुरुजी के बारे में इतनी चीज़ें शेयर करनी है, इतनी चीज़ें बतानी हैं, इतनी अपने खुद के एक्सपीरियंसेस जो गुरुजी ने दिए हैं. यूजुअली आई ऑलवेज शेयर माई ओन एक्सपीरियंस, मेरे अपनी इमीडिएट फैमिली के एक्सपीरियंसेस, उससे जो हम अपने इनर मोस्ट फीलिंग्स आपके साथ पहुंचा सकते हैं, शेयर कर सकते हैं. सो आपको शुरू में बस एक शॉर्ट में बताऊंगी कि किस तरह से जैसे गुरुजी से हम जुड़े, और बचपन से ही मैं शिव जी की और माता रानी की भक्त रही हूँ. बचपन से ही मुझे भक्ति मार्ग पर, मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है मेरा जन्म ही हुआ है खाली पूजा पाठ करने के लिए. मेरे पेरेंट्स भी थोड़ा परेशान रहते थे कि इतना ज़्यादा इस यंग एज में इतनी ज़्यादा इसको लगन है, बट दैट वाज वही एक चीज़ थी जो मुझे इतनी अंदर से खुशी देती थी और अभी भी देती है. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट आई थिंक स्लोली जब टाइम आया तो गुरुजी ने अपने दरबार में बुलाया, एंड जिनकी मैं आराधना करती थी, शिव जी को सोमवार का व्रत रखती थी, जल चढ़ाती थी, और मतलब अंदर ही अंदर उनसे प्रार्थना करती थी आपके दर्शन कब होंगे कब होंगे। एंड वो जो मेरे आराध्य थे महादेव, उन्होंने ऐसे ऐसे ये लीला रचते हैं शिव जी। आप शिव पुराण में आप क्या तो है ये शिव पुराण का कि किस तरह से वो लीला रचते हैं। जब हमारे कार्मिक अकाउंट से जो हमें दुख प्राप्त होते हैं वो इसलिए प्राप्त होते हैं कि हम उनसे और जुड़ सकें। तो अगर आपकी लाइफ में कुछ भी दुख हो रहा हो तो आप कभी भी हिम्मत ना हारें, वो सब कुछ आपको गुरुजी से इतनी क्लोज ले जाएंगे, इतने आपका रिलेशन स्ट्रॉन्ग कर देंगे, फेथ स्ट्रॉन्ग कर देंगे। एंड दैट इज़ द रीज़न। खुशी में हम इतना नहीं याद करते हैं, पर जब हमें दुखों ने घेरा होता है तब हम अपने दिल की पुकार जो गुरुजी को तक जाती है। तो उसी हालत में गुरुजी ने अपने दरबार में बुलाया। मेरी बेटी की आस्थमा की बहुत प्रॉब्लम थी, और किस तरह से गुरुजी ने मेरी प्रार्थना सुनी, जो मैं दिल ही दिल शिव जी से, महादेव से, माता रानी से प्रे करती थी, और उन्होंने अपने दरबार में बुलाया। 98 में दिसंबर में हम सिंगापुर में उस समय बेस थे। मेरे हस्बैंड का ओवरसीज़ असाइनमेंट है एमपीजी का, तो हम सारे सियाटल से ही वहाँ मूव करे थे 96 में। एंड 98 में गुरुजी ने अपने दरबार में बुलाया, एंड दैट वाज द चेंज ऑफ आवर डेस्टिनी। जैसे कहते हैं ना, एक नया जन्म होता है, पूर्व जन्म होता है। तो ऐसा लग रहा था कि साक्षात भगवान मिल गए हैं, क्योंकि आप पूरी उम्र जब ढूंढते हैं भगवान को और उनकी अनुभूति करना चाहते हैं, और जब वो सामने आ जाते हैं तो आपकी सोल बता देती है, आपको वो अनुभूतियाँ होने लगती हैं that you're looking for, and that is exactly what happened with me. There was no doubt who's Guruji, क्योंकि गुरुजी ने इतने एक्सपीरियंसेस दिए। क्योंकि ये कौन हो सकता है जो बिना बताए आपकी दिल की बात सब कुछ जानता है, और कौन हो सकता है जो कहीं भी आप रहें उनकी नज़रें आपके ऊपर हैं, उनको सब कुछ मालूम रहता है। सो गुरुजी इज ओमनीपोटेंट, ओमनीसेंट एंड ओमनीप्रेजेंट, सब जगह। मतलब हम सिंगापुर से आते थे और गुरुजी सब कुछ बता देते थे कि कहाँ हम गए थे, क्या किया हमने, हमारी डेली एक्टिविटीज़ क्या होती हैं, हमारे दिमाग में क्या चल रहा होता है। जो मन में होता था वही गुरुजी उसको रिपीट कर देते थे। और उसके बाद जिस तरह से मेरी बेटी का आस्थमा ठीक किया, ये कोई नहीं कर सकता था। हम यूएस में वो पली, यूएस में ही बहुत साल हम थे यहाँ पर, और सब कुछ ट्रीटमेंट उसको दिखा दिया था। उसको होम्योपैथिक, आयुर्वेदिक, इंडिया का जो है, और यहाँ यूएस का बेस्ट ट्रीटमेंट जो उस समय था, कुछ भी नहीं उसको फ़ायदा हुआ। और भी उसका आस्थमा अटैक सिवियर होता गया, यहाँ तक कि उसको शी वाज हुक्ड ऑन स्टेरॉइड एंड एंटीबायोटिक्स एंड नेबुलाइजर एंड पफ्स, सो मैनी एलर्जीज। सो एक माँ के हिसाब से आप समझ सकते हैं कि कितना मुश्किल टाइम था वो। और उसमें जब आपको एक रोशनी दिखती है, गुरुजी इज लाइट, गुरुजी केम इन आवर लाइफ एज ए डिवाइन लाइट, जिन्होंने हमें राह दिखाया। और हमारी बेटी का आस्थमा ऐसे क्षण भर में गुरुजी ने ठीक कर दिया। गुरुजी तो यूं ही कहते थे, जा कल्याण कर देते हैं, वो ठीक हो गई। ये ऐसे गुरु आपको कहाँ मिलेंगे। और नॉन अज्यूमिंग गुरुजी तो कभी भी नहीं कहते थे ये करो वो करो। गुरुजी कहते थे जो तुम कर रहे हो वो करते रहो, बस मेरे लिए थोड़ा सा समय निकालो। गुरुजी खाली हमारा प्यार चाहते थे, क्योंकि देखिए गुरुजी के दरबार में सब मांगने आते थे। गुरुजी कहते थे बहुत मुट्ठी भर लोग हैं जो मेरे से प्यार करते हैं और खाली मेरे दर्शन के लिए आते हैं। एंड जो उस भाव से आता था गुरुजी उसको पहचान लेते थे, और उनको भी बड़ी खुशी होती थी ऐसी संगत के साथ। बहुत खुश होते थे गुरुजी जब आप भाव देते हैं, उनको प्यार देते हैं, विदाउट एनी डिज़ायर्स, विदाउट एनी वांट्स, विदाउट एनी डिमांड्स। तो यूं ही गुरुजी से हमारा सफ़र शुरू हुआ एंड इट वाज जस्ट आई कैनॉट एक्सप्रेस। वो तो आप किस तरह से अपनी अंदर की भावनाएं तो हम नहीं, आपको मैं महसूस कर सकती हूँ और होपफुली आप सब भी महसूस कर रहे होंगे। आप सब जुड़े हुए हैं गुरुजी से और एक्चुअली मैं तो सोचती हूँ कि आप सब बहुत धन्य हैं। यू आर मच मच अहेड ऑफ अस बिकॉज हमने तो गुरुजी को देख के ही उनके साथ जुड़े और उन पर फेथ आया। पर आप सब लोग बगैर देखे गुरुजी को इतना जुड़े हुए हैं, इतना फेथ है आप सबको। सो आई गेस आई एम लर्निंग अ लॉट फ्रॉम द न्यू संगत, आप सब से। एंड आई एम वेरी वेरी हैप्पी कि ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड, कहाँ कहाँ, दुबई में भी, सारी जगह वर्ल्ड में गुरुजी फैले हुए हैं, उनकी सुगंध फैली हुई है सब जगह। आज का दिन गुरुजी का प्यार वाला दिन है। गुरुजी कितना प्यार करते थे संगत में, तो संगत से तो मैं वही कुछ शेयर करूँगी जो इट जस्ट डिनोट्स द लव ऑफ योर गुरु। और ऐसे जब मेरी बेटी ठीक हो गई, उसका अस्थमा बिल्कुल ठीक हो गया, एक भी पफ उस दिन से, इट वॉज आई स्टिल रिमेंबर, इट वॉज December 28, 1998। और आज का दिन गुरुजी की ऐसी कृपा कि उसने एक बार भी पफ नहीं लिया, जो कि हमेशा इनहेलर पर ही हुक रहती थी। तो गुरुजी भगवान नहीं तो कौन है। और उसके बाद हमारा सफ़र गुरुजी के साथ, गुरुजी ने इतने एक्सपीरियंसेस दिए, इतनी अनुभूतियाँ दी, इतना प्यार दिया कि वापस आने का मन नहीं होता था। ऐसा लगता था हम यहीं रह जाएं, गुरुजी के पास ही रह जाएं। क्योंकि आप जब रियलाइज़ करते हैं डिविनिटी को, एंड व्हेन योर सोल रिकग्नाइजेस दैट, you don't want to separate, because that is the purpose of our existence. That is the purpose why we came on this earth, to fulfill our karmic account. And उसके साथ अगर आपको डिवाइन मिल जाते हैं तो आप क्या क्या और चाहते हैं। That was the purpose, to come and meet our maker, and our maker was right there amongst us, Mahadev, सामने बैठ करके। What else did we need? Nothing. Nobody wanted to leave गुरुजी। और गुरुजी के दरबार में इतना सुंदर गुरुजी क्रिएट करते थे, वो एम्बियंस जैसे वो स्वर्ग में, जैसे सचखंड में हम बैठे हों। इतनी अच्छी सुगंध, इतना अच्छा वातावरण, the whole ambience was so, I would say it made everybody feel like we are at home भगवान के साथ। That's where we belong. Because गुरुजी तो नॉन जजमेंटल और अनकंडीशनल लव देते थे हर सबको। हमारी सब कमियों के साथ ही हमें एक्सेप्ट कर लिया गुरुजी ने। और कभी भी हमें, गुरुजी कभी किसी को कुछ नहीं कहते थे। तो ऐसे ही इतना बेइंतहा प्यार दिया गुरुजी ने। गुरुजी बस एक शब्द में अगर मैं गुरुजी को डिस्क्राइब करूँगी, so I would only say he was the epitome of divine love. And today is the day of love. And divine love सबसे ऊंचा लव है। हमारे अपने spouses के साथ, हमारे फैमिली के साथ, हमारे फ्रेंड्स के साथ, we all love each other. पर वो जो divine love जो परमात्मा के साथ है, जो गुरुजी के साथ है, that is for our soul. And when Guruji accepts us and fulfills us, तो आपकी ज़िंदगी में चाहे जितनी भी प्रॉब्लम्स हो, without any reason you're always happy, because Guruji is just filling your soul with lot of love, lot of positivity, and he's the reason कि हम सारे आगे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, no matter what is happening in our lives. So यूँ ही हमारा पूरा जर्नी चलती रही। एंड आई विल जस्ट शेयर one or two experiences. I would like MPG to share more. So मैंने तो कई बार शेयर किया है, तो बस one thing that when I think of love, I remember one, बहुत एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं पर एक जो मेरे दिल के बहुत करीब है। वो मैं आज शेयर करूँगी आपसे. और when I realized that I have met my maker, that I have met my master, I have met what I have been looking for all my life, who I was praying for is right in front of me. My only desire was to serve him, but I was very shy. और गुरुजी से तो कोई बात नहीं कर सकता था. I really wanted to go and hug him, but I was shy. I didn't do that. I used to see so many aunties going and hugging him, and I used to just think they are so lucky, but I could never do that because I had that garima of Guruji. Garima of Guruji. Guruji is God. I cannot even touch him. गुरुजी इतने सुंदर, इतने प्योर, इतने डिवाइन. आई यूज्ड टू फील दैट उनको छूने से ही हम गुरुजी के हाथ गंदे हो जाएंगे. एंड वन डे वी हैड कम फ्रॉम सिंगापुर एंड उस समय सिंगापुर में बहुत सार फैला हुआ था. सार्स आप सबको मालूम है. एंड इट वाज अ वेरी हार्ड टाइम एंड मेंटली एंड फिजिकली सब बहुत ही उस समय आज की तरह नहीं है. इतना मीडिया है, इसमें सब आ जाता है. खाली टीवी होता था और टीवी में दिन रात वही न्यूज़ आती थी. एवरीथिंग वाज क्लोज, नथिंग वाज ओपन. स्कूल्स वर क्लोज एंड वी कुड नॉट इवन गो आउट. एंड गुरुजी से बस हम गुरुजी की ही उनके शब्द टेप, उस समय टेप्स होते थे, सुनते रहते थे. And finally my husband said we should go to Delhi. And बहुत ही मुश्किल टाइम था. किसी तरह से मास्क लगा के we all went to Guruji, but we didn't want to go to Sangat because we didn't know. We wanted to quarantine ourselves. तो हम वहाँ होटल में इंपीरियल में ठहरे हुए थे, अपने पेरेंट्स के पास भी नहीं गए. And we thought we'll stay here for 10 days and then we'll go to Guruji's Sangat. But दिल नहीं मान रहा था. We just wanted to go and have a glimpse of Guruji. सो बहुत ही 1-2 दिन के बाद हम लोग गए और डरते डरते एकदम जाके पीछे, नहीं तो हमेशा मेरा मन होता था मैं गुरुजी के सामने बैठूं, एकदम जाके पीछे बैठ गई मैं. एंड वी थॉट नोबडी विल नोटिस अस. आई हैड कवर्ड माई हेड जैसा आई ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू डू इन फ्रंट ऑफ गुरुजी. एंड वी वर ऑल सिटिंग एंड लंगर हुआ. मैंने लंगर खाया एंड लंगर खा के मैं जैसे ही उठी, बाहर जाके हाथ धोना होता था. जैसे मैं उठी मुझे याद है गुरुजी बैठे थे एंड मेनका गांधी जी बैठी हुई थी उनके पास. एंड शी लुक्ड एट मी एंड शी स्क्रीम्ड एट मी. शी सेड, उषा आंटी, कम हियर, कम हियर. गुरुजी वाज टेलिंग मी दैट यू जस्ट केम फ्रॉम सिंगापुर. एंड आई वाज शॉक्ड. आई हैड नॉट टोल्ड एनीबडी. पर गुरुजी तो सबको जानते हैं ना, हर एक भक्त की. शी कनेक्टेड इन गुरुजी एंड ही नोज एवरीथिंग. And she said that Guruji told me that you had just arrived from Singapore. And Guruji was so happy to see me. And he said, Aja, Aja. And my hands were dirty because मैंने उस समय लंगर खाया था. And I said, Guruji, मैं भी हाथ धो के आती हूँ. I didn't want to touch him. I didn't want to be close to him, to tell you the truth. I wanted to be away from Guruji because I didn't know if we were the carriers. I didn't want to just be there even. I was feeling very guilty at that time. And मैं बाहर गई, मैंने बहुत अच्छी तरह से हाथ धोए अपने. And I came back and Guruji gave so much love that day. So much love Guruji के आँखों से. And Guruji gave me his feet and he said, चल मेरी सेवा कर. And I didn't want to touch Guruji. And I started pressing his legs and I was crying and I was thinking कि Guruji, I'm so lucky. आप मेरा पूरा डर जो था, जो मेरे मन में जो एक हिचक थी, सब कुछ वहाँ मेरे आंसू से सब बह गया. Nothing was there within me. Everything was empty and Guruji was filling with his love. He was so kind and smiling the whole time. And Menka ji was telling me that how Guruji was remembering us. And he was saying that we all are coming here to Guruji. ही नोज एवरीथिंग। एक एक भक्त के बारे में गुरु जी को सब कुछ मालूम है, बिकॉज ही इज़ भगवान, ही इज़ महादेव, ही इज़ परमेश्वर, ही इज़ द अल्टीमेट। दैट डे आई कैन नेवर फॉरगेट। एंड उसके बाद अनदर टाइम, जस्ट लास्ट सत्संग, आई विल शेयर दिस, दैट इज़ वेरी डियर टू माई हार्ट। गुरु जी की बेइंतहा प्यार, गुरु जी का बेइंतहा लव जो है गुरु जी का, वो शब्दों में मैं बयान नहीं कर सकती हूँ। आई कैन ओनली फील इट and realize his love. It's always around, even now, every single day. He gives such subtle messages, experiences. जिस दिन भी मेरा मन कभी भी उदास होगा, गुरुजी कोई ना कोई वे में अपनी प्रेजेंस दिखा देते हैं. He's always there, always. So one day I was sitting at Empire State and काफ़ी गुरुजी की कृपा रही है. गुरुजी ने हम सबको इतना प्यार दिया कि हम जब सिंगापुर से आते थे, गुरुजी हम सबको बड़ी रात तक बैठाए रखते थे, बिकॉज दैट वाज द ओनली पर्पस वी यूज्ड टू कम फ्रॉम सिंगापुर टू दिल्ली टू हैव गुरुजी's दर्शन. एंड गुरुजी न्यू दैट वाज द ओनली रीज़न. एंड गुरुजी वहाँ पूरे टाइम 2-2.5 घंटे लगते थे हमें नोएडा से आने में. एंड गुरुजी मालूम था, गुरुजी को वहीं बैठाए रखते थे बड़ी रात तक. एंड गुरुजी आफ्टर संगत, गुरुजी यूज्ड टू सिट ऑन द कारपेट एंड टॉक टू अस लाइक अ फादर, लाइक अ फ्रेंड, लाइक द मोस्ट एल्डेस्ट मेंबर ऑफ अ फैमिली. हमारे लेवल में आके बातें करते थे गुरुजी. तो एक दिन गुरुजी अपने आसन में बैठे थे एंड बहुत कम संगत बची थी. एंड मैं जाके पीछे बैठ गई कि मैं देखती थी कि जोशी आंटी और सिंगला आंटी ये सब किचन में लगी रहती हैं. मेरा मन होता था मैं भी गुरुजी के लिए कुछ सेवा करूं. और ये सेवा भाव भी गुरुजी ही डालते हैं. जब आपके मन में इतना प्यार आता है अपने गुरु के लिए, तो यू वांट टू डू समथिंग. सो पर समझ नहीं आता था कि क्या कर सकते हैं वहाँ पे. मुझे मालूम नहीं था क्या वहाँ का प्रोसेस है. तो मैं पीछे किचन के पास जाके बैठ गई. मैंने सोचा आंटी जब बाहर आएंगी, क्योंकि नोबडी वाज अलाउड टू गो इन द किचन, इट वाज लाइक अ ओनली फॉर सेवादार. तो मैं कभी अंदर गई नहीं थी. तो मैं बाहर किचन के बाहर बैठी हुई थी, वेट कर रही थी. एंड गुरुजी अपने आसन में बैठे थे, कुछ संगत वहाँ उनके अराउंड थी, बात कर रहे थे. एंड जोशी आंटी किचन से निकली. सो आई अप्रोच टू हर एंड कहा, आंटी नमस्ते आंटी, मैं कुछ सेवा कर सकती हूँ, आपकी हेल्प कर सकती हूँ, जूठे बर्तन धो दूँ, कुछ कर दूँ. तो वो कहने लगी कि यहाँ पर तो वही होता है जो गुरुजी कहते हैं, आप गुरुजी से जाके पूछ लीजिए. तो I never used to talk to Guruji. I was very shy to really say much. Only when Guruji used to ask. पहले शुरू में बहुत बात करते थे गुरुजी. And then there was a time when Guruji told me कि आज के बाद हम बात नहीं करेंगे, मुझे तेरे बारे में सब कुछ मालूम है. And आज से हम टेलीपैथी में बात करेंगे. So since that day, I've never asked anything to Guruji. Even now, I never ask Guruji, only his blessings. And that is it. So I didn't know what to do. So I said, नहीं मैं नहीं पूछ सकती गुरुजी से. I was just sitting there and she said, नहीं आप जाइए. And गुरुजी इतनी दूर बैठे थे अपने आसन में. And गुरुजी is everywhere. He is hearing everything. It doesn't matter where you are. And Guruji just got up from his asan and he started walking towards me. And he says, and he stood in front of me. I stood up and I said, आंटी कहती हैं पूछिए. She started elbowing me and मैंने कुछ पूछा नहीं, मैं नीचे देखने लगी. गुरुजी कहते हैं कि पूछो आंटी, उषा आंटी क्या पूछना है. And he asked me twice. So I said very meekly, बहुत ही डर से मैंने गुरुजी से कहा, गुरुजी कोई सेवा मिल सकती है, मैं यहाँ जूठे बर्तन धो दूँ, कुछ कर दूँ. And Guruji just looked at me and he laughed, smiled and he said, नहीं तुझे कोई लोड़ नहीं है, तू जा ऐश कर. And I felt very small at that day, to tell you the truth. I was not convinced. I said, Guruji, I'm not even capable of doing any seva for my Guru. Maybe I'm full of my own faults. I have to clean my soul up. I have to sit in meditation more. I have to realize a lot of things. That was my thought. So I went back. I started sitting in meditation. I used to get up early morning and try to change my life a little bit. Because Guruji आपको दर्शन दिखाते हैं, आपको राह दिखाते हैं, and you start realizing that जब आपके गुरु कह रहे हैं कि जा ऐश कर, तुझे लोड़ नहीं है, then I didn't understand ऐश कर. I only understood that I'm not capable of doing any seva. So that was my thought process at that time. पर गुरुजी को तो सब कुछ मालूम है ना. And one day जब सिंगापुर से आए तो एक दिन I was alone at that time. MPG was traveling and my son was also not well, so he was not with me. I was alone. Empire State में बहुत देर तक बैठे थे. And Guruji looked at me and he told me, कल तो 5 बजे आ जाइए. So I was very, very, very happy that Guruji is going to give me some special time. And I went back. मैं रात भर सो नहीं पाई. And मैंने अपने ड्राइवर से कहा कि तुम 2 बजे आ जाना क्योंकि 2.5 घंटे लगते हैं आने में. And Guruji has given me time, so I have to be there before the time. जब भगवान आपको अपॉइंटमेंट देते हैं, आपको उनके आने से पहले वहाँ पहुँचना होता है. And I just could not sleep. I was waiting and I didn't share it with anybody where I'm going. I just said I have to go somewhere. अब मैं वहीं देर से आऊँगी, सत्संग चली जाऊँगी गुरुजी के पास. Because when it's between Guruji and you, that's all. Nobody else is between. And I just got ready very early and we left. And बहुत ही traffic थी उस दिन. And I just came and Guruji की मर्यादा. I mean, I could have just gone inside Guruji's room, but I just stood. Empire State में जो गए हैं वहाँ चबूतरा है. मैं बाहर ही बैठी हुई थी. दरवाज़ा थोड़ा सा खुला था, पर I didn't want to just push myself the door and go inside. I thought I'll sit here till somebody will come out and I'll tell them. I was waiting there for some time and then Joshi uncle came and he said, अरे आप यहाँ बैठी हैं, गुरुजी आपका इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं अंदर. So I just went inside and Guruji was sitting on his sofa. And I went and I touched his feet and Guruji looked at his watch and he said, Aunty तो 5 minute late आई. So as we all conditioned, I started telling him, Guruji, मैं तो बहुत देर से चली हूँ, बहुत ट्रैफिक थी. And I didn't even tell him that I have been waiting outside since 10-15 minutes. Anyway, Guruji के सामने कोई तर्क नहीं चलता है. You just forget everything and you just sit there in silence. I was just sitting in silence without any single word and ऐसा लग रहा था एकदम जैसे heaven में बैठे हूँ. इतनी सुगंध, इतनी शांति, जो आपकी आत्मा की शांति. The reason that we want to experience that bliss, I experienced that day. And just बहुत देर तक ऐसे बैठे रहे. And then all of a sudden Guruji asked me, मैंने बहुत भूख लगी है, जा मेरे लिए कुछ खाने वास्ते कुछ लेके आ. And I got up, but अंदर किचन के किसी को अलाउड नहीं था, तो मैं कभी गई नहीं थी. It was like a Lakshman Rekha. I was just standing outside waiting for somebody to come out and ask them कि गुरुजी को भूख लग रही है, कुछ खाने के लिए आप ले आइए. I stood there for a few minutes, but I was scared कि फिर ना देर हो जाए. गुरुजी ने कहा था तू लेट आई है 5 मिनट. So I was scared that I have to listen to Guruji. Nobody came out and finally my mind, my heart told me I have to go inside and get something for Guruji. I went inside. First time I saw Guruji's kitchen. It was spick and span. And वो काउंटर पर एक ट्रे सजी हुई रखी थी, उसके ऊपर लाल कपड़ा रखा हुआ था. एंड आई डिडंट इवन ओपन. आई थॉट ये गुरुजी के लिए है, क्योंकि वहाँ कोई भी नहीं था. जब गुरुजी आपको कुछ कहते हैं ना, गुरुजी क्रिएट कर देते हैं. 100% गुरुजी ने वो क्रिएट किया हुआ था. एंड आई जस्ट पिक्ड अप द ट्रे एंड आई ब्रॉट इट इन फ्रंट ऑफ गुरुजी. आई पुट इट इन फ्रंट ऑफ गुरुजी ऑन द टेबल एंड गुरुजी looked at me and he said, "Eno cold." I didn't even know what's inside. I opened it and there was some hot porridge. See, kitchen में कोई भी नहीं था वहाँ पर. And वो कहाँ गरम गरम चीज़ें थीं, वहाँ से कौन कैसे कौन रखे क्या कुछ नहीं मालूम. And I just put it in front of Guruji, and Guruji looked at me and said, "Mera muh jalaegi, enu thanda kar." So I still remember, it must be summertime, and the fan was running, and I just, जैसे आप बच्चे के लिए खाने के लिए आप ठंडा करते हो, मुझे वही याद आ रहा था. मैं उसको बोल को पंखे के नीचे रख के ऐसे स्पून से उसको स्टर कर रही हूँ, उसको ठंडा कर रही हूँ कि एट द राइट टेम्परेचर फॉर गुरुजी. एंड जब मुझे लगा कि ठीक है, तब फिर मैंने गुरुजी के सामने रखा, एंड गुरुजी looked at me and Guruji said, "Maine khwa." So I started feeding Guruji like a child. Guruji was eating, and I felt जैसे गुरुजी छोटे हो गए हैं, जैसे कृष्ण जी को माँ यशोदा खिलाती थी. मुझे वो एहसास हुआ उस दिन. And after I finished, Guruji just asked me to just leave it there and just don't worry about anything. I just left it on the table. Then I sat down quietly, and I was crying that I really wanted to do something for Guruji, and Guruji has given me this divine opportunity to serve him that day. And continuously, my tears were not stopping, and I was just sitting there quietly. And Guruji, after some time, Guruji got up and he said, "Ja, mera chola lekhe aa." I didn't know. I had never seen Guruji's chola or anything. I've been to Guruji's room many times, but I don't know where his chola is, right? So I just got up, and as I stood up, I could see that एक hanger में उनका chola रखा हुआ था. I brought it, and Guruji stood up, and Guruji said, "Mainu pa," and I just put on his chola, and I realized that Guruji could become really tall. हम उनको सोचते थे गुरुजी बहुत फ्रेल है, but at that time I felt like I'm in front of God. गुरुजी इतने बड़े विशाल रूप में ऐसे मुझे लगने लगे, and I just put it on Guruji, and then he said, मेरी जूती पा. So I brought his जूती, was right there. I put in front of Guruji, and Guruji looked at me and said, "Mainu pa." So I picked up his feet with my hands, and I put it in his jyoti, and I was continuously crying. And then he sat on the sofa again. He never told me anything that day. We never had a conversation. Everything was happening in silence, and I went in deep meditation. जैसे सचखंड ऐसा लग रहा था कि पूरा वो एम्बियंस कहीं और है, हम वो रूम नहीं लग रहा था. All of a sudden, I didn't see Guruji. He must be behind or somewhere. I don't know. Guruji is God. He can disappear, go anywhere. He can take me anywhere with him also. And all of a sudden, वो पूरे room में millions and millions of roses, and it was लग रहा था कि जैसे शंखनाद वो पता नहीं कहाँ है वो जगह. And I started hearing Om chanting. जैसे गुरुजी अपने body से Om की ध्वनि निकालते थे, वैसे ध्वनि सुनाई पड़ने लगी मुझे ओम की. But I could not even open my eyes, even if I wanted to. I could only feel. After some time, I came back. Guruji brought me back, however, and then he sat on the sofa, and then he looked at his watch, and he said, "अच्छा, मैं संगत विच चला, तू 5 मिनट बाद आई." And I didn't realize how much time had passed. I had been there from 5 o'clock till almost 8:30. And Guruji got up, and he went and sat on his throne, and I was in the room, and I kept looking at my watch because Guruji 5 minutes मैं late आई थी, so I didn't want to be late. So I just after 5 minutes quickly I got up and I started walking, and Guruji asked me to sit wherever he wanted, and I sat there. And you can imagine the whole Sangat was there, and they kept looking at me, and I felt very humbled with Guruji's love and Guruji's grace. And my whole being was smelling of fragrance. My whole body, my hair, my clothes, everything, my hands. And most of all, my soul was fragrant that day. That is what I wanted, to serve my Guru. I wanted some seva. And Guruji gave so much love that day. He showered. वो दिन मैं कभी नहीं भूल सकती हूँ. So I'm so grateful to Guruji and thankful for this, especially on day of divine love, that how much he has showered. So I'm so happy to share this experience with you. Experiences तो बहुत बहुत है प्यार वाले, जो गुरुजी ने हमेशा प्यार ही बांटा है संगत में. अब मैं MP जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूँगी वो अपना कुछ शेयर करें. एंड जय गुरु जी, थैंक यू सो मच. वी ऑल आर हियर टुगेदर.
Jai Guruji, Sangat ji. It's a privilege to be with you, to share some thoughts about Guruji. आप लोगों ने संगत तो बहुत सुनी होगी एक्सपीरियंसेस के. मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ गुरुजी के बारे में and our individual relationship with Guruji that we all have. गुरुजी से पहले हम लोगों ने दर्शन किए इस जीवन में इन 98. बेटी की बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स थी अस्थमा की, उषा ने बताया होगा. इट वॉज क्योर्ड विद जस्ट वन ब्लेसिंग. गुरुजी ने हाथ उठाया, कल्याण किया, एंड दैट वॉज इट. द asthma was gone forever. Asthma that could not be treated anywhere in the world by all kind of medications. So, and it was a very severe problem. So उसके बाद मैं अक्सर ही चला जाता था गुरुजी की संगत में, just as a to express my gratitude and respect to Guruji. No other feeling. मैंने बहुत से miracles देखे और मैंने देखा कि गुरुजी हैड ऑल द एट्रीब्यूट्स जो भगवान को हम लोग कहते हैं. सर्व समर्थ, सर्वशक्तिमान, सर्वज्ञ, अंतर्यामी, सर्वस्य, सर्वव्यापी, दया और करुणा के अथाह सागर. आई सॉ ऑल दैट. तो लोग कहते थे गुरुजी शिव जी हैं, तो आई वॉज एग्नोस्टिक. हमने कहा हो सकता है शिव जी हो, परंतु मुझे मालूम नहीं, हो सकता कोई और डिविनिटी हो. और गुरुजी अपने को हमेशा महापुरुष कहते थे. he basically referred to him in third person as महापुरुष. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, in due time we'll learn. टाइम बीतता गया, कई साल बीत गए. मैंने गुरुजी को कभी सोते हुए नहीं देखा था. तो मैं काफ़ी क्यूरियस रहता था, एक बड़ी क्यूरियोसिटी थी चाइल्ड लाइक कि गुरुजी कभी सोते भी हैं कि नहीं. क्योंकि हम लोग अक्सर वहाँ 2, 3, 4 बजे तक बैठे रहते थे. उसके बाद बताते थे लोग कि गुरुजी पाठ करने में लग जाते हैं. तो मैं सोचता था हम लोग यहाँ पे बैठे रहते हैं, उसके बाद गुरुजी पाठ करते हैं, फिर उनकी दिनचर्या शुरू हो जाती है, तो डज ही एवर स्लीप. पर गुरुजी ने बोल रखा था गुरु से कुछ नहीं पूछते, तो मैं कभी पूछता नहीं था. और बहुत कई साल बीत गए, पर एक दिन ऐसा था कि मैं अकेला बैठा था गुरुजी के पास, कोई था नहीं. बहुत दूर एक और पुरुष थे, पंकज सिंह, चंद्रशेखर के जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे उनके बेटे, बहुत दूर थे वो, और कोई नहीं था. तो मैंने कहा मैं आज गुरुजी से पूछ लेता हूँ, हो सकता है गुरुजी डांटे, पर अगर डांटेंगे तो मैं अकेला हूँ, कोई बात नहीं, इट विल नॉट बी वेरी एम्बैरेसिंग. तो मैंने गुरुजी से पूछा, गुरुजी आप कभी सोते हैं? गुरुजी इतने प्यार से मुस्कुराए. केवल भगवान ही ऐसे मुस्कुरा सकते हैं, ये मैं बता सकता हूँ आपको. और गुरुजी के शब्द थे, एंड आई रिपीट देम एग्जैक्टली एज ही सेड. गुरुजी ने कहा, मैं सोऊंगा तो सृष्टि को कौन देखेगा? इफ आई स्लीप हु विल लुक आफ्टर द क्रिएशन. गुरुजी ने रिवील कर दिया हु ही वॉज. फिर क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर वो गुरुजी महाशिव हैं, अगर वो महादेव हैं, तो वहाँ क्या कर रहे थे? तो फॉर दैट वी हैव टू गो टू शिव पुराण. अगर आप शिव पुराण पढ़िए तो उसमें देयर इज अ डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ क्रिएशन. देयर वाज नथिंग, देन लॉर्ड शिवा thought that there should be creation. So Lord first created Brahma, asked him to create the Srishti. So Brahma, with lot of failure, after a lot of trial and errors, succeeded. And he was so proud of his accomplishment that he grew 4 heads, one on each side, so he can see his own creation and be proud of it. And then he became so proud he grew a fifth head on top. So Lord Shiva was very curious. He was very intrigued. Lord Shiva said, let me see what Brahma has done, why he is so proud. And Lord Shiva observed the creation. And he was very disappointed. He was very sad. He started crying. Because he looked at nothing except a mess. Violence, greed, betrayal, arrogance, on and on and on and on. Then he approached Brahma and said, Brahma, what have you done? You created such a mess. Brahma said, Lord, first Brahma didn't realize his mistake. So then Lord Shiva became angry. He created Kal Bhairav with his anger and asked Kal Bhairav to snatch away the fifth head of Brahma. Kal Bhairav didn't want to do that because that's the ultimate sin, but that's another legend. Anyway, he did that. When he did that, Lord Brahma came to his senses and he begged forgiveness of Lord Shiva and said, Lord, I did make a mistake. Please correct it. So Lord Shiva said, no, you have created. I gave you the responsibility. I'm not going to interfere. But every once in a while, I'll go to earth and take care of some of my bhakts. So that's basically, every once in a while on this earth, we are blessed with the presence of a Sadguru. And that is Lord Shiva himself or an Ansh of Lord Shiva. And he has come because he knows what a mess we are in. We came from a source, but we have forgotten about it. Because that was long, long time ago, probably many lives ago. And we need to get back to the same source. And we don't know about it. And we can't do anything about it anyway, even if we want to. Because we have this karmic baggage that we can't unload. So our Sadguru comes for some of us to help us unload our karmic baggage. Guruji कहते थे, मैं तलवार की चोट सहता हूँ, एक सुई की चोट बस तुम्हारे लिए छोड़ देता हूँ. So he unloads all our karmic baggage so we can get back to where we need to be. And in that, he is totally committed. He is not going to give up till he succeeds with each one of us who are his bhakt. It may take many lives, but he is relentless with his mission. That's his mission. And then, obviously, the question is why all these miracles happen? Well, imagine somebody comes to you and says, I am Sadguru. Trust me, I'm going to take care of you completely in this life and in all future lives. I'll help you unload all your karmic baggage so you can get back to where you need to be. You know what we will tell him? We'll say, don't waste my time. I got better things to do. So that's why miracles happen, because somehow, we put our Guru in that difficult situation where he has to show some elements of his power. So we start believing in him. We start trusting him. That's why the miracles are there all the time. It's just so that we are aware of who he may be. So we can trust him. We can have confidence in him. And we can surrender to him. Now, what is our Guru's blessing for us? Of course, he's going to take us back to where we need to be. But, his true blessing, when you think about it in this life, is his continuous presence with us. हमें fragrance आती रहती है, miracles होते रहते हैं. He's showing that he is with us. Guruji कहते थे, ऐश करो. What does that mean? That means he is with us. We should have no fear. We should have no worries. So his blessing for us is a life without fear, a life without any worries. Please have total confidence. Be totally assured that you shouldn't worry about anything. You shouldn't be scared of anything, because he is there with us. he always used to tell us, Ash karo. No need to worry about anything. No need to be scared of anything. I'm with you. I'm taking care of things. क्या डरने की बात, क्या परेशान होने की बात? That's basically what he said. He didn't say that, he just said ash karo, but you have to read what he meant. But we have some obligations. Our primary obligations is mango mat mano. Those are Guruji's words. We have to believe him. We have to trust him. We should realize that he knows everything that's there to know in this world, and he knows everything about us. He knows what we want. Why bother him with all that what we want? He already knows that. He also knows what's best for us. So Sadguru will do what is best for us, not necessarily what we want. So trust him with that. Leave it to him to bless us with what is best for us, which may or may not be necessarily what we want. But that is our obligations to him. Primary obligation. A secondary obligation that goes with it is Sangat. When we think about Sangat, sometimes we think we have to collect 100 people and do agarbatti and do, flowers and, do set this up and do langar and all that. And that's fine, that's great. But, when a true Sangat is just with Guruji, we don't need anyone else. And we can do that Sangat any time, especially once we realize he is with us. So we don't need anything to do a Sangat. We can do it anytime. Of course, we should do it, with other people too, with all the arrangements, because that creates a community feeling, which is very important. But a Sangat can be done anytime, anywhere, because our Guru is with us. So please learn to do that. Do your Sangat anytime. Talk to Guruji. Meditate upon Guruji. That's the only way to connect with him. What is Guruji's expectations from us? Few minor things. He is our father. We are all his children. Now imagine there is a father and a son comes and he's saying, Daddy, I don't have this. Can you do this for me? My life is very difficult. Please help me. And that's all he does. Then there is another son and he comes. And he just comes because he loves his dad. And he wants to spend time with his dad. And he says, Dad, how are you? He doesn't ask anything from the dad. But of course, dad knows. And dad will give him what he wants. Now, which of those children you should be? Just think about it. So our first obligation is to stop crying, stop asking, stop being sad. Enjoy the time with Guruji. Be happy with him. Look forward to doing Sangat with him. You can do that anytime. Another obligations we have, which is similar, is courage and strength. Guruji's first temple that he built was in Jalandhar, Kent. And if you look at the Sangat of Guruji, there was a predominance of army people. And there's a reason for it. Only those that Guruji wanted in his Sangat came. So why did army people come? Why did he build his temple in a cantonment? Because he wants us to be strong. He wants us to be brave, just like the people in army people, who are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice any time. So they should be our role model in a way. We should be strong. We should be brave. That's what our Guru expects from us. Guru also expects Purusharth. Don't just listen to Sangat, do it, do something. We have come to this life, into this world, with a mission. We all have a mission. And we should accomplish that. And when Guru is with us, who is going to stop us? We'll succeed. We'll succeed beyond our expectations. So do what you have to do. Achieve your dreams. Guru is with you. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to fear. Don't think that God designs what's to happen. God doesn't. We design what's to happen. God didn't tell us to build, tram cars or automobiles. God didn't tell us to rape and kill and go to war. God didn't tell us to build temples or establish cities or build roads. We have done that ourselves. Of course, He would like things to be good, and that's why we should do what our mission is, to make this a better world. Accomplish your mission, achieve your dreams. Nothing should stop you. And a very important expectation our Guru has, Guruji made us sit 4 together and eat our langar together. Why 4 together? There are 4 castes, and that was a symbolic point. Guruji was telling us there should not be any caste, there should not be any barriers. We are all equal, we are all His children. We have created all this nonsense of caste and barriers ourselves. Let's get rid of it. Our gurus, Sikh gurus, have been doing that. Let's follow them. What are some of our obligations? आपको मैं बताता हूँ जो गुरुजी कहते थे. गुरुजी कहते थे, don't hurt anyone. That is a very, very important obligation. We are all His children. We are all connected. If we hurt someone else, it's going to basically hurting us in the end. It may not happen immediately. We may realize it later in life or in some other life. That's our karmic baggage. So don't hurt anyone. Please. That's a very, very important instructions from Guruji. Guruji कहते थे गुप्त जाप करो और गुप्त दान करो. Gupt jap means something we can do quietly in our head, and that is our Sangat. Guruji bolte the Om Namah Shivaya Shivji Sada Sahay, that is a jap. Later on the Sangat added Om Namah Shivaya Guruji Sada Sahay, which is actually saying the same thing, because when Guru is Lord Shiva, whether he says Shiva or Guru, it's the same thing. So Om Namah Shivaya Shivji Sada Sahay, that is Guru Mantra. And he asked us to do the jap as much as possible, Gupt jap. Quietly keep doing it in your head. And I'll tell you an experience I had. Once I learned Guruji is Sarvagya and Sarvagyata and Antaryami, I became concerned कि Guruji की संगत में बैठा रहता हूँ. God knows, what kind of, thoughts may flash through my mind, and Guruji knows everything. So it could be very embarrassing. तो मैंने सोचा जाप करते रहेंगे. तो मैं बैठा बैठा वहाँ जाप करता था, just to avoid other thoughts from coming and going through my mind. एक दिन गुरुजी ने मुझे बुलाया अपने कमरे में, बड़े प्यार से बोलते हैं, जाप करता रहता है, ऐसे ही करता रहा कर. तो something, I was doing something for a totally different ulterior motive, but I was doing something right. And Guruji gave me encouragement to do that. So please, जितना हो सके जाप करते रहिए quietly. Om Namah Shivaya Shivji Sada Sahay. In your head it should go on all the time as much as possible. Like a CD. You're driving a car, do that. You're sitting waiting somewhere, do that as much as you can. Guruji कहते थे गुप्त दान. Share what you have with others. We are all connected. We are all His children. So whatever we can, we should share it with others. और गुरुजी बोलते थे गुप्त दान. किसी को मालूम नहीं होना चाहिए. Do with your right hand so your left hand would not know. So don't put a big name plate in a temple where you make a donation that you donated this much money. Or don't put that name plate in orphanage or whatever you do. It should be totally quiet, totally anonymous. If possible, and that's very difficult, but if possible, even the person who is getting something from you should not know that it came from you. And finally, Guruji also said, do everything as an offering to me. That is very important. Because once we do everything, whatever we are doing as an offering to Guru, karma nahi create hote hain. This is in Gita also. When he told us, both I and Usha were together, he looked at Usha and he said, लिपस्टिक भी लगाया कर तो ऐसे लगाया कर जैसे गुरु के लिए लगा रही है. तो even ordinary things, even mundane things, road things, please do it as an offering to Guru. Whatever you do, do it as an offering. Please remember, our real temple is inside us, in our heart, in our mind. That temple stays with us. We don't need to go anywhere. Guru is in our mind. Guru is in our heart. Keep him there. Occasionally you can go to a temple as a recreation. And of course, go to a temple at least once in a life. That's a creation of Guruji. Do it as a respect. But please don't run to temples because you think that will solve your problem. And that God is there. God is right there, inside our mind, inside our heart. Let's not run after God in temple. Do that as a respect. Yes. And keep doing our Sangat with Guru, because our Guru is always with us. He should be in our heart, in our mind, and he's always there anyway, on his own with us. So please keep doing that. I'd like to say in the end that there's no higher blessing than having a Sadguru. And I'll quote Adi Guru Shankaracharya from Vivek Chudamani. He wrote many books, one of which is one of the best ones is Vivek Chudamani, which we can translate as nuggets of wisdom. And in that, right fairly much in the beginning, within the first 3-4 pages, he says, there are 3 things which are possible only with Bhagavad Kripa, with divine blessing. It can't happen otherwise. And he said the first is human body. We've been given this human body as a divine blessing. And I'll just go off a little bit. When Lord Shiva wanted to create the universe, he created, of course, Brahma, for creation. He created Vishnu for sustenance. And then he asked Brahma to be responsible for destruction. Brahma refused. He said, Lord, I am creator, I am not a destroyer. He then asked Vishnu to be destroyer. Vishnu also refused because he said, I am the sustainer. I am not a destroyer. So Lord took the responsibility for destruction upon himself and created Rudra, the fierce one, the howler, to do that. So, in the end, we have these 3 deities, but of course Lord Shiva is above all of them. But there's one thing that Lord Shiva kept for himself, which is responsibility for the transmigration of soul. So the human body that we get is his gift, his blessing. So that's not possible otherwise. And that's what Adi Guru Shankaracharya said. He said the second thing that's not possible without Bhagavad Kripa is spiritual curiosity. So maybe there are 1 million people, but maybe only just a handful of them will have an interest in divinity or spirituality, because that doesn't come on your own. You can't develop that interest in spirituality. If you are listening to Satsang, you are probably one of those blessed ones, unless you are looking only to get something out of it in terms of selfish material interests. I hope that's not true. But the final blessing, he says, that is the ultimate blessing. Even those who have spiritual interests, even among millions of them, only handful will get that, and that is Sadguru. So Sadguru is our ultimate blessing. Once we have found him, there is nothing more to be found. Then just enjoy, be happy, celebrate. Life should every day should be a celebration with Guruji. Guruji is a celebration of love. In the end, I'd like to say something which some of you may not like about Mr. Valentine. Mr. Valentine was in Rome when Christianity was not yet a force. And they wanted to create more Christians there because they wanted to basically destroy the other Roman religion. So one of the things started doing, there used to be an age limit for marriage. So he will go to the children and he'll say, if you want to get married and you're underage, I'll get you married if you become Christian. So he created his own form of, whatever you want to say. And he started creating more Christians. And he succeeded enormously. And that's why he was made a saint later on, because he created more Christians. And of course, what those Christians did? The Romans were expected to do 4 things. And I'm giving you a trivia of history. First, they had to believe in Caesar. They had to offer him incense. Second, they had to participate in the festivities like Holi and Diwali. Third, they had to pay taxes. And fourth, when required, they had to serve in the army. So as the Christians as the conversion took place, they were told, you should not respect Caesar because we have our own. Second, they said you should not participate in these festivities because we have our own. Third, you should not pay taxes. Fourth, you should not serve in army. In the end, of course, the Roman Empire fell apart because of all these kind of things. And there were 1,000 years of darkness in which half of Europe was killed. You can read the history. 30-year war itself killed half of it. So basically, I don't know why we should call such a person saint. Let those who think that creating more Christian was a great job, call him saint. Why should I call Aurangzeb a saint? So for me, this true love is in Guruji, and I want to celebrate love with Guruji. So every day is a celebration of love with Guruji. So I hope you didn't mind me saying that, because some people like to be in blissful ignorance. So my apologies to them. But I just want to celebrate love with Guruji, and every day is a celebration of love with Guruji. And I don't need any Mr. Valentine to celebrate love. Thanks for listening. I hope I was able to share some of the thoughts about Guruji and our individual relationship with Guruji, and hopefully that's helpful to some of you. So with that, Jai Guruji. May Guruji's blessings always be with you. May he keep enlightening us all the time, and just stay happy. There's nothing to fear. There's absolutely nothing to worry. Guruji is with you, each one of us. Enjoy, celebrate love, celebrate life, and achieve your dreams. Jai Guruji.
जय गुरु जी. थैंक यू सो मच अतुल अंकल, एंड थैंक यू सो मच आई हुई जितनी संगत है, जो वॉच कर रहे हैं, आप सबको बहुत बहुत गुरु जी की ब्लेसिंग्स. एंड सबसे बढ़कर शुक्राना टू गुरु जी जो उन्होंने ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दी है, हम दोनों ने साथ में अपना आज शेयर किया है. एंड आप सब पर गुरु जी की कृपा यूँ ही बरसती रहे. गुरु जी से हमारा सबका प्यार बना रहे आपस में. डिवाइन लव जैसे एमपी जी ने कहा है, वी शुड सेलिब्रेट दैट. So
I also want to add that Guruji gave me 2 lives, and some other time when I share some of the experiences I can share that. And one I sometimes wonder why he gave me life, because what does that do for me? It basically puts me on this earth for extra time. Maybe I don't need that. Maybe I need to get back to my source quickly. But I think these are all gifts, and maybe one of the reasons he has done that so that I can share my thoughts with you today. So I hope that you'll realize Guruji is with you. That's what I'd like you to realize today. If you already don't realize that he is blessing you all the time, and there's absolutely nothing to worry and nothing to fear. Please achieve your dreams, and don't just listen to Sangat. Go do something, please.
और शेयर करिए. अंकल कह रहे हैं, अतुल अंकल कह रहे हैं, प्लीज शेयर अंकल.
Please share.
हाँ अंकल.
I can share, if you want, if you have time, then I can. There's basically, I have an infinite repository of Satsang, so I can keep sharing. Of course, I get tired too.
शेयर करिए.
But I can share maybe some that are important, I think. And one of them was, let me share the power of surrender. I used to come from Singapore on Thursday, go straight to Guruji Sangat. Then I would stay in India on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night I'll return to Singapore by a night Singapore Airlines flight that will get me in Singapore on Monday morning, so I can go to office on Monday. So India was part of my responsibility. So basically I could do something on Friday in India. So it used to be like a business trip too at times. So on Sunday when I had to return to Singapore, I would, my flight was Singapore Airlines flight. At that time, I think it was used to be 11:15 p.m. departure, something like that. So I used to leave Guruji's Sangat around 8:30 p.m. That would put me in the airport around 9:15 at the latest. Just in time, 2 hours, to get my boarding passes and go through everything and board the flight. But one day, I think it was the year 2002 maybe, I thought, and these thoughts, of course, these are also gifts of Guruji. And I thought, I'm here at Gurudwara. I have come here to my Guru. I shouldn't leave till my Guru tells me to leave. So with that thought, with complete determination, I sat down in Sangat that day. And on that day, Usha was with me, and my uncle, who took us to Guruji in the beginning, he was with me, and a few other family members were there. So clock started ticking around 8:30, 8:45. My uncle was very, very impatient. He thought I'll miss my flight, and he kept nudging me. Utho, tumhari flight miss ho jayegi. Go. So, I kept ignoring him, but he kept on going like that for 15, 20 minutes. So he's my family elder. I respect him a lot. So I said, I can't just ignore. I have to get up. I have to listen to him. So I got up, went toward Guruji. Guruji looked at me, he laughed, he says, Teri flight cancel, baith ja. And I had not even told Guruji that I am leaving that day. Of course, he knew everything. So मैं आके बैठ गया, मैंने चाचा जी से बोला, चाचा जी गुरुजी बोल रहे हैं flight cancel. So anyway, then Chacha ji was happy. He didn't, then he said, that's fine. Then later on, I think it must have been around 10 o'clock. Guruji waves at me, asks me to come to him, and then he says, Ja, ab tu ja. So I came out. With me, Usha came out, and Chacha ji also came out, and all the other family members. Chacha ji even said, ab to tumhe flight nahi milne wali hai. To you from airport you come back, and we'll go home together. हमने कहा ठीक है. So this is when the old Delhi airport was there, not the new one. So I reached airport, and at that time there used to be 4 big gates to enter the airport. For those who, some of you may remember if you've been there at that time. Our airport was totally disorganized, totally chaotic, a real messy situation all the time. It was very difficult to just get through, those gates. It would take 15-20 minutes at time. And that day was no different. Actually, it was so much crowd, complete chaos, typical disorganization, nothing. It's a nonsense. But, all those 4 gates I saw, and I couldn't believe my eyes. There was nobody there. I could enter through any of those gates because, the airport was small, you could see all the gates. So, anyway, I entered through gate 3, which was the typical gate through which I used to enter because Singapore Airlines counter used to be right in front there. So, as I entered, I looked. There was no signage of Singapore Airlines. So I looked at the constable, the policeman, who used to, check our passport. उनसे मैंने पूछा कि यहाँ पे Singapore Airlines का वो काउंटर होता था क्या हुआ? तो उसने बोला है वहीं पर है. उन्होंने साइनेज हटा दिया क्योंकि अब बहुत देर हो गई, अब चेक इन नहीं कर रहे, पर आप जाके देख लीजिए. So I went toward the counter, and as I approached the counter, somebody came from behind. There was a cabin, and from the cabin somebody came out, and he said, "Are you by my name, Mahendra Singh?" I said, yes. So he handed me my boarding card. So which was not actually very surprising at that time because Singapore Airlines used to pre-print the boarding cards for first class and executive class. So मैंने कहा कि एक ही बचा होगा तो उन्होंने सोचा मैं आ रहा हूँ तो मुझे दे दिया इन्होंने. So anyway, then after that the major challenge was immigration. Immigration की बड़ी लंबी लाइन होती थी. And that day airport was no different. भीड़ बहुत थी. और एकदम complete chaos, completely disorganized as usual, people everywhere. But when I approached after filling my embarkation card, when I approached the immigration, मैंने देखा कि वहाँ पे पता नहीं 6-7 लाइनें रहती थी. मैंने देखा कि वो सब क्लर्क्स बैठे हैं, इमिग्रेशन वाले, पुलिस वाले जो क्लर्क्स होते हैं, पुलिस के लोग जो चेक इन करते हैं, अब जो चेक करते हैं. बट देयर इज नोबडी देयर. एयरपोर्ट में लोग भरे हुए हैं, सब तरफ लोग हैं. But all those immigration lines, there was nobody there. I just walked through basically. Then उसके बाद last hurdle used to be security gate. उस समय 2 ऊंचे लंबे से गेट्स हुआ करते थे सिक्योरिटी के लिए. बड़ी लंबी लाइनें लगती थी, कभी कभी आधे घंटे लग जाते थे उसके थ्रू जाने में. अगेन द सेम सिचुएशन. एयरपोर्ट में भीड़ बहुत है. completely chaotic as usual. But मैं देख रहा हूँ दोनों गेट खाली हैं, उसमें कोई है ही नहीं. No queue, nothing. I couldn't believe my eyes. Anyway, I passed through it, went toward the gate. I was the last person to, get in the plane. And they closed the gate behind me within 2 minutes and we took off. After that, when next morning Singapore time arrived, I called Usha and told Usha, Usha was still in Delhi at that time. I said, आज गुरुजी के संगत में जाना तो tell Guruji ki how easy he made, my boarding. So anyway, next day Usha called me. She said, मैं गुरुजी के यहाँ गई, मैं उनको प्रणाम कर ही रही थी, मैं कुछ बोलने का उन्होंने मौका भी नहीं दिया, खुद ही हंसने लगे, कहने लगे अंकल की फ्लाइट कैसी थी बता, कैसे बोर्ड किया. तो just in case there was any doubt what happened, कि गुरुजी कभी कभी बहुत कहते थे कि मेरी शक्ति लगती है और लोग सोचते हैं कोइंसिडेंस हो गया. तो that was no coincidence. He had arranged it like exactly that for us. He is Mahashiv. So whenever he wanted, he could arrange the universe as he liked, as he wanted. Of course, God doesn't do that, because we are here to do whatever we want. हमारे मनमानी के लिए पूरी छूट है यहाँ पर. And that's how the karmas are created. And that's how the world runs. It doesn't run by the will of God. It runs by the will of human beings. We are free to kill and rape or build and create. It's totally up to us. So anyway, that's one Sangat I wanted to share. Maybe I can share one more, which is of some value. But that was power of surrender. See what happened that day? I didn't realize it. But I had surrendered to my Guru. Because I had decided that I am not going to leave till my Guru tells me to leave. I have handed him the responsibility for myself. Right? And that's why he made it so easy, so simple. So my request to all of you, please, do what you have to do to achieve your dreams, to achieve your mission, but leave the outcome to Guruji. Just do it as an offering to Guruji, whatever you are doing. And leave it to him to decide what happens, what the outcome is. And please, I can assure you, the outcome will be better than what you ever expected. It will far exceed your own expectations. And you will be surprised. It will surprise you. It used to surprise me. When I was posted, I was a managing director in Singapore. And my performance was absolutely incredible when I look back at it. I didn't know what was happening. In 3 months, 4 months, I used to achieve my annual, bookings, which is orders quota. Within 6, 7, 8 months, I used to achieve my billings quota, which was the shipping. I built a plant in China, which became profitable the first full year of operation. In the second year of operation, it was the plant with the highest returns in the company. And on and on and on. All these things were happening. And I was so stupid. I thought it is happening because I am so good. At that time I didn't have this kind of awareness of Guru's blessings. And Guruji even made me, tried to make me understand what was happening. I still didn't. For example, once when in my annual review, I was in my office at 11 p.m. because my boss used to be in, on the East Coast time in US. So, he's doing my review. It is 11 a.m. for him, 11 p.m. for me. And the review was so good. He was beyond himself. He was praising me so much. And as he was doing that, the phone became so fragrant. The whole room became fragrant. It was such a beautiful experience that I actually took away the phone. At that time, it was old type phone, the landline phone. And I removed the headset, brought it home, said to Usha, देखो इसमें plastic में इतनी fragrance है गुरुजी की, and kept that as a gift of Guruji at home for many days. It kept fragrant. For that piece of plastic was fragrant for so many days. In the end, when the fragrance stopped, then I took it back to the office. So Guruji was telling me that day, that review, that performance, and all that, what it was all about is his blessing. But I didn't get it. I feel very sad that I didn't get it. So my request to all of you, you'll far exceed your expectations in what happens. But don't forget, it's a gift of Guru. Keep it as an offering to Guru. Don't let your I there in the middle. Get rid of your ego. We are Surrender yourself to Guru. That's when most beautiful things will happen. Keep your eye there and you'll be limited by your own capabilities. Get rid of the eye and there is no limit, because divinity has no limits. Guruji will arrange the universe any way you want. And not any way we want, but any way it should be for us to achieve what we need to achieve. So, do you want me to share more? I don't want to, bore you. I don't want to take too much time. But, if you want to share more, I can keep talking, because Guru's blessings are enormous, but maybe we should leave it for another day. So, there's so much to share about Guruji. I wanted to share what I think would be of more use and more value to you in, having your own relationship with Guruji.
He's saying yes, sir.
What?
He's saying yes, sir, if you want to. Please do, uncle.
Okay, maybe one more satsang that's of some value to you. How much time do you have? I'll share one, which is actually very, very meaningful. I'm glad that you gave me some time, because I think this is valuable. Guruji once asked me to, not Guruji, one day I get a call from my uncle, my Chacha ji, and who took us to Guruji. I'm, eternally grateful to him. He's like my Chote Guru, because he took me to my real Guru. So, he took me to Guruji. Anyway, one day my Chacha called and he said, Guruji is saying you come immediately and buy a flat on Aurangzeb Road. So मैंने कहा, I don't know why Guruji would like me to do that, but हमने कहा ठीक है हम तुरंत आते हैं. So within a week or two I was there, and as soon as I touched Guruji's feet in the Sangat, Guruji said the same thing. He said, जा Aurangzeb Road पे flat खरीद ले. तो मुझे Aurangzeb Road तो मालूम है. That's, unfortunately we've named our streets, after such, villains. But anyway, Aurangzeb Road malum hai, the most glorious road in Delhi, longest road probably in the central Delhi. But, ये नहीं मालूम था मुझे कि flat वहाँ पे कौन से खरीद है. So anyway, next day I was with my cousin, sister, and she didn't used to go to Sangat, but she knew people in the Sangat and she knew about Guruji. तो मैंने उससे कहा कि गुरुजी बोल रहे थे मुझसे फ्लैट खरीद लो. मैं कहाँ से फ्लैट खरीदूँ, मुझे कुछ मालूम ही नहीं यहाँ के बारे में. तो वो कहती हो यू शुड टॉक टू विप्पी. Vippy knows everything and he can take care of it. So Vippy actually, I think many of you may know him. Vippy was always around Guruji, and I'm not sure, but I think his father built the Bade temple. But he was the contractor for Bade temple. He was the one who built the Bade temple. So Vippy was always a very flashy guy. He'll have his sunglasses when he's outside, and he'd stand like a James Bond next to Guruji, as his, security person. So anyway, I knew Vippy. So next day, when I went to Sangat, I approached Vippy and I said, Vippy, can you help me with buying a flat on Aurangzeb Road? So Vippy said, sure. Vippy ko already malum tha. Guruji must have told him. So कहता uncle, I'll pick you up from your hotel at 10 o'clock and tomorrow morning, and we'll go and look at some flats. तो हमने कहा ठीक है. So in the meantime, I learned that Aurangzeb Road पे एक ही private flat building थी, वो Ansals की. At that time, there were only 2 buildings in central Delhi, in Luton's Delhi, where you could buy. Everything was basically monopolized by our government. So that was that on the Prithviraj road, there was the Tata building, and on Aurangzeb Road there was the Ansal building. So that's only places where you could buy flats if you wanted to be in Luton's Delhi. So next day, VP came and picked me up, and he said, Uncle, it's incredible. Uncle, it is very difficult to have any flat available in the in this Ansal's building, because there is so much demand, and immediately things get sold, nobody even knows about it. But he said, today I couldn't believe, Uncle, there are 3 flats which are available. So I immediately realized, and he also realized, of course, that was Guru's blessing, that these 3 flats were available. So he showed me 1 flat, the other 2 where he could not show, but he told me where they are, showed me the location. I really liked the flat. Price was 3 crore at that time. I think it was year 2002, 2003, something like that. The Delhi property market was not at all hot. It was a very dull, stagnant market for many years. Nothing was selling. in Gurgaon, etc. All these houses, flats were lying empty. So then I started thinking, हमने कहा कि भाई why should I buy the flat? पता नहीं क्यों गुरुजी बोल रहे हैं फ्लैट खरीदने के लिए. अगर it doesn't make any sense for me to buy it, because it doesn't seem like a good investment. यहाँ कुछ appreciation वगैरह तो है ही नहीं. I should buy something somewhere in US, Europe वगैरह. तो मैंने कहा पता नहीं क्यों खरीदना चाहते हैं. And I was doing everything that Guruji told me not to do. Guruji told us not to do, everybody. Guruji कहते थे कि आप आया कर तो अपनी अकल जूती में बाहर रख के आया कर. So basically when we come to Guru, we have to surrender to him, as I shared. So we have to follow his instructions. And I was, instead of doing that, I was using my own brain and my own, limited, very limited human thinking, to analyze what Guruji was saying. फिर मैंने सोचा हो सकता है गुरुजी खुद अपने लिए चाहते हो कि सेंट्रल दिल्ली में गुरुजी की संगत हो. तो मुझे एक एक्चुअली फ्लैट उसके लिए बहुत पसंद आया. वो ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे था और एंट्रेंस भी उसका बाहर से भी हो सकता था. और लॉन, मैंने कहा यहाँ पे, मैं सोच भी रहा था यहाँ पे लोग चप्पल उतार देंगे, यहाँ पे पानी होगा, यहाँ पे गुरुजी की संगत हो जाएगी. तो फिर मैं अगले दिन गया तो मेरे गुरुजी से बात नहीं कर पाता था. प्रॉब्लम मेरी ये थी कि मुझे पंजाबी समझ में गुरुजी की पंजाबी मुझे बिल्कुल नहीं समझ में आती थी. गुरुजी इतनी तेज़ी से बोलते थे और अपने गांव डुगरी की पंजाबी बोलते थे कि दैट वाज ऑलवेज टोटली इनकॉम्प्रिहेंसिबल फॉर मी. तो मैं बिल्कुल समझ ही में नहीं आता था गुरुजी जो भी कहते थे मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. तो मैंने कहा गुरुजी से मैं क्या पूछूं, गुरुजी जो बोलेंगे मुझे कुछ समझ ही में नहीं आएगा. तो आई अप्रोच सिंगला. मिस्टर सिंगला यूज्ड टू बी लाइक एन असिस्टेंट टू गुरुजी, टुक केयर ऑफ ऑल द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क. सो सिंगला से मैंने पूछा, सिंगला गुरुजी चाहते हैं क्या कि सेंट्रल दिल्ली में गुरुजी की संगत हो, यहाँ एम्पायर स्टेट इज काइंड ऑफ इन अ कॉर्नर इन अ पेरिफेरी. तो सिंगला बोलते हैं नहीं ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है. गुरुजी ही स्टार्टेड लाफिंग. ही सेड व्हाई, गुरुजी इज वेरी हैप्पी हियर, ही डजंट वांट टू गो एनीवेयर. मैंने कहा ठीक है फिर मैं ही खरीदता हूँ. So as stupid as I was, I didn't approach Guruji. I should have done that, right? Guruji के instruction थे जाकर खरीदो. मुझे बात करनी चाहिए थी, कम से कम बताना तो चाहिए था कि गुरुजी मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ, क्यों नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मैंने कुछ नहीं किया. Anyway, time passed by, and of course, within a year price had doubled, and right now probably it is, instead of 3 crore, it is 30 crore or whatever. So what Guru was trying to do was help me. And let me tell you why that was so important. If I had bought that flat at that time, I would have used certain options, stock options, company stock options, that were going to expire now in not too distant future. Since I didn't do that, I didn't exercise those options, and something very drastic happened, and which happens often in the commercial world, and stock prices went down or whatever happened, and those stocks became worthless and expired worthless. So those stocks that I would have used, stock options, to buy the flat became zero. So it was basically a free gift from Guruji. Guruji was gifting me that apartment free. But, at the level of understanding I had, because of that, I didn't use that. But anyway, that bothered me, of course. Nobody likes financial, it's not a loss, but missed opportunity, you can say. So, but इतनी परेशानी उसकी ज़्यादा नहीं थी. मुझे परेशानी ये थी कि मैंने गुरु की बात नहीं सुनी. बाद में मुझे दैट वाज रियली बॉदरिंग माय कॉन्शियंस कि माय गुरु आस्क्ड मी टू डू समथिंग एंड आई डिडंट डू दैट, because I what I did was started approaching somebody in the middle, to find out what Guru wanted. So what happened in 2000s, that started really, it became, that thought became very painful for me actually around 2006 when we were returning to Seattle, and it was very painful. There were some nights I didn't sleep because I felt so bad, that it was, that my Guru asked me to do something, I didn't do that. I was feeling so guilty. So during that time, what happened, Guruji called me and he said, he gave me a time during day to come. So I went there, nobody else was there. So Guruji told me, he said, सुन, अपने और अपने गुरु के बीच में किसी को नहीं लाते. So that was his first instruction. Second, he gave me 2 phone numbers and he said, एक मेरे नेफ्यू का है गौरव का और एक मेरे ड्राइवर का है. कहता मैंने इन दोनों को बता दिया है कि तेरा कॉल जब भी आएगा मुझे तुरंत बताया. मैं पाठ कर रहा हूं तो भी मैं तुझसे बात करूंगा. So, that those were his instructions. So, just think about what he was saying. It took me time to understand what he was saying. He was saying, he is always available. And there should not be anybody between him and us. That message is not for me, that's for all of us. Don't put anybody between you and your Guru. You should have direct communication, direct connection with Guru. Don't depend on me to tell you what Guru is all about. You should learn that yourself by meditating on Guru. Guru is always with you. Do Sangat with him as much as you can. Second, he is available anytime. 24/7, 365 days a year. Don't look for an auspicious time. Don't go to a Pandit and start asking for a Muhurat, to see Guru. Guru is there all the time. Every moment of our life, he is there for us. His doors are always open. But because of our own false thinking and the belief in falsehoods, our doors are closed. We have to open our doors so we can connect with him. His doors are always open. So that's a very important message that I want to share with you. Don't put anybody between you and your Guru, and don't wait for an auspicious time to make a connection. Do it anytime. Do it all the time. Guru is with you in your heart and your mind. Guru is with you anyway, even if you don't want him in your heart and mind, even if you don't know about it. He is there because he's totally committed. And he is always there to help us. So with that, I'd like to end our Sangat. Thanks for listening. And I hope, some of the things we have shared are of some use to you. It is good to share all the beautiful blessings, but, what do you do with those blessings? I think we have to know why those blessings are there. What is the role of Guru in our life? What is his expectations? What is our obligations? And in the end, our life should be without fear, without worries, because we have our Guru. And all our dreams should be or would be achieved. Take one step, our Guru takes 1,000 steps.